One for the first four athletes.
The beam final will begin in just a moment. Good luck to all of them who've made it to this stage. In the first half of the final, we're going to look at Nola Matthews of the USA. She was the third best in qualification. The fourth best will follow her. That's Luxembourg's Celeste Mordenti. Both Matthews and Mordenti were on the uneven bars podium yesterday. Then Lin Yichun of Chinese Taipei. She was the eighth best qualifier. And she will be the third to go. It will be Emily Roper of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland who will be the last gymnast in the first half. She was the second best in qualifying. So interesting to note that we're going to see three of the top four qualifiers in the first half of the final. But we're not going to have clarity until the very end because Mariana Kiniuk, the Ukrainian who was the best in the preliminary competition, she will go right at the end. That's a lovely moment. Eddie and Kevin Penev both getting onto the podium in the floor final yesterday. Gold and silver. Now more honours for Eddie. There's a gymnast who has set a wonderful example of perseverance, of diligence. The improvement of Celeste Mordenti over the time that we've been watching her internationally has been a joy. Mordenti unquestionably comes into any event like this on the World Challenge Cup circuit as a medal contender. And that's not something that we were saying several years ago. But anytime you see her name on a list of finalists now, she is to be regarded as somebody able to get onto the podium. She certainly is as well. Nola Matthews proved that yesterday by winning the uneven bars gold medal. First time in a World Cup competition. Very good young British gymnast, Emily Roper. She's won international honours for both England and Wales. Was born in Ipswich in the east of England. We're very close to the start of proceedings. Nola Matthews will get us underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing the United States of America, Nola Matthews.
Nola Matthews of the USA getting us started on beam. Third best in qualification. Very smooth thus far. This is looking nice and tidy, and it was a good difficulty score in qualification, the second highest of anyone, 5.2. So unquestionably, she is capable of contending. Alignment is really strong. Very little in the way of adjustment. Oh, and then after that, when everything had been very strong, off she comes. Well, it's just the way it can go on beam. Sometimes you can be 9/10 of the way there. And that side aerial just had a backwards lean to it as she landed. Very nice double backwards tuck to conclude. almost, I mean, that was almost a cracking display from Nola Matthews. It had so many terrific sequences. The gymnast from San Jose in California, who's been a double champion at the Pan American level. Started well, good mount sequence. Very good X-axis in the wolf turns. And there we are, coming out of that side aerial. Unfortunately, unintentionally dismounting the apparatus, taking a full mark of loss. She's a little piked as she lands the double tuck, but it was very good. So her qualification score was 12.8. And as I mentioned earlier, strong degree of difficulty, 5.2, the second highest of any of the qualifiers. Only Mariana Kiniuk had a tenth more. .366. So she is unfortunately down from the qualification score by about half a mark. Had she stayed on there, she would have been well beyond her qualification score. Everything else was going very nicely. Celeste Mordenti of Luxembourg, fourth best in qualification. Very graceful switch leap mount. Didn't quite get the legs up to horizontal there, but she saved the adjustment. Was at risk of going off. Very good. What a good hold too. That's an experienced gymnast. It's a quick routine, it's very purposeful. Now, can she keep the stability in the wolf turns? Yes, not the cleanest of reconnections with the extended leg on the beam, and comes off unfortunately out of the tucked backward somersault. It's another example of a routine that is very nearly there. She dismounts well, almost from Celeste Mordenti. But again, an example of the positive trajectory in her career, because there was a confidence to that performance. She was a fraction away from maintaining contact with the beam at all times. Mount looked very nice, straight into some very striking choreography, making it clear that she is authoritative on the apparatus. There was nothing tentative about what her arms were doing throughout. That was a really impressive hold. Wolf turns here, bend of the leg and a slight almost scrape of the beam as she comes back into contact. Twisting form at the end, loses a little shape, but the overall picture continues to be a strong one. She departs from this competition having won another medal. It's 11.6, so she was in line to be essentially where she was in qualification had she not come off the apparatus. That's a full mark down from the preliminary stage. Nice to see some of the naval cadets who were part of the presentations in the crowd watching and enjoying the gymnastics. A lot to enjoy about this young competitor. This is 19-year-old Lin Yichun of Chinese Taipei, 8th best in qualification. Can do some very nice work on the beam. This is growing in confidence. It's a slightly tentative feel to the start of it, but it's now really developing its authority. She was, again, almost aligned. Acrobatic series proving problematic. So we've had issues for all of the first three, but really just the one issue. Unfortunately, those issues have been nestled amongst otherwise really nice looking beam performances. And there is the innate stark reality of this apparatus and how unforgiving it is. Good side somersault. Twists well to conclude. Lin Yichun of Chinese Taipei. She's somebody developing international experience. She made the beam final at the Sombaté World Challenge Cup in Hungary last year. She made the beam final in Cottbus at the start of this season. On both occasions, she was quite a way down from qualification. She will probably find that's the same here. It takes time to be able to consistently deliver what you can do in qualifying in a final. And it's a big occasion when you get to a final. And the only way to refine that is to just keep doing this, to keep coming back out there and competing internationally and getting more and more experience. The rudiments of her gymnastics are great. She's got some very strong elements to that routine, some very strong moments. It almost came together cohesively. 12.2 was the qualifying score. She made her World Championship debut at the most recent competition in Antwerp in 2023. That was a week after making her debut at the Asian Games. It was a very busy and high-pressure spell for Lin Yichun. Same year she got onto the podium at the Asian Championships with the team. Still awaiting the number. Just to let you know that it's 12.366 that holds the lead, and it remains thus 11.833, so not a huge drop from qualifying. Only about 4/10 down.
Representing Great Britain,
Emily Roper of Great Britain, second best in qualification. Starting nicely. 19-year-old with real potential to challenge. Oh, what a hold. What a hold! She was leaning backwards at the conclusion of those wolf turns. Very good. Gets the body around fully. Free walkover, had a big adjustment, but the feet remained planted and she held on. Quite a few deductions as she goes through this, but she's staying on the apparatus. Again, gets the body around 180 degrees very well. And a very smooth dismount. Well, that's interesting. That is very interesting. From Emily Roper of Great Britain, that could be the routine that changes entirely the dynamic, I should say, of the podium. Let's have another look at this display. Mounted really well, totally in alignment. Look at the end of the wolf turns, backwards lean and incredible stability shown. That was a remarkably good save. Small adjustment there, but she minimises the deductions beautifully. That's impressive. Getting the body completely around to land in the starting position. And there, coming out of the free walkover, she's piked, she bends forwards but holds it. Very well done, that. Two-time Northern European Championship gold medalist, and she is into the gold medal position, 12.466. It is a drop of just over half a mark from qualifying, all of those execution deductions added up. So what we saw for Roper was a little different from what we've seen for the first three. There wasn't one clear big moment where she lost most of her execution marks, but they were just incremental. But sufficient was her control to put her into the gold medal position at the halfway stage. Now, based on the qualification results, and who knows of what relevance they are in a beam final, but based on the qualification results, Roper may have done enough to get at least the silver medal. Because of the four remaining gymnasts going, only one of them scored stronger than 12.466 in the preliminary round, and that was Mariana Kiniuk, the top qualifier, who'll be the last to go. Following this, we'll bring you the men's parallel bars final. We have a look at Nicole Stoimenova of Bulgaria in front of her home fans. She said after qualification that she was so excited to get the chance to come back out for the finals in front of supporters who will, she knows, be so behind her. She has a very interesting gymnastics background at Stoimenova, because she actually trains at Links Gymnastics in Buckinghamshire in England. She's based in Aylesbury, but she was born in Blagoevgrad in this country. And there is the top performer in qualifying, Mariana Kiniuk. She was the bronze medalist on this apparatus at the Ukrainian Championships last year. It's a first ever senior international final for Mariana Kiniuk, and that itself carries an interesting dynamic.
Warm-up is over. Good luck.
Very experienced gymnast coming up. This is Telma Alafsteinsdottir of Iceland. The sixth best in qualifying, 12.35. And she is the reigning Northern European champion on this apparatus. She won the title in Dublin last year, along with all of the other apparatus competitions. Oh, no, come on, I can't believe she's going to save that. Oh, that was so close. My goodness, I thought she'd managed to hold on. Oh, that was as good an effort as you'll see. That was shades of Ashikawa Urara at the 2021 World Championships. That matrix style save. Couldn't have fought harder there. Beautiful, really good strength. Attacking all of the leaps and the jumps. We're going to see her later, by the way, as the top qualifier for the floor final. The twisting gainer dismount. I mean, that was very entertaining from Thelma Alfsteinsdottir of Iceland. Some very authoritative and powerful work on the apparatus, and she almost kept it going. Great mount sequence. That was so impressive. And here, you can't fight harder than that. And those of you who remember Ashikawa Urara in qualification at the 2021 World Championships will know why I'm drawing the comparison. On that occasion, Ashikawa stayed on and then went on to lift the World Championship title. Nice gainer dismount. Not had the easiest start to the season, the Icelandic gymnast. She's just recently said goodbye to her coaches of 10 years. That's a big life change. And we're going to see her in the floor final later. She's from the beautiful city of Reykjavik. Fabulous part of the world. When I say she's experienced, this is a gymnast with 5 gold medals, 3 silvers and a bronze at the Northern European Championships. Going right back to Tórshavn in the Faroe Islands in 2017. She also has a very interesting accomplishment, which I'm going to come back to later. A very unusual thing that she's managed in her gymnastics career. She thought she was free to go there, but not quite. But I'll throw the question out there for you now. As the score of 12.166 comes in, well, just think about that. What that would have been if she'd stayed on. We'd be looking at a 13 or so score for Alfsteinsdottir. Now to Nicole Stoimenova of Bulgaria. Ninth best in qualifying. First gymnast to open with a sideways on mount, the candle mount. Oh, that was lovely. Great sequence of wolf turns. Virtually flawless stability. Just slightly lost the balance there a fraction, but now quickly picks up the pace of the routine. very aligned in the back tuck somersault. This is looking fiercely impressive from Nicole Stoimenova. Dismounts well, only a single twist at the conclusion of the routine. The difficulty score in qualifying was the lowest of all of the qualifiers. From an execution standpoint, that was very fine. Sometimes you find that a gymnast gets balance beam honours because of execution rather than difficulty. Many, many times it's happened over the years that somebody has emerged not as the strongest or not even close to the strongest in difficulty, but with crispness of performance. This is lovely. She's very stable. The score is 12.5, and she has gone into the gold medal position. 8 for execution. There we go. It was such a smooth display from the Bulgarian. She leads the way with 2 to go. She's guaranteed a medal. Zelina Kickinger of Austria, 7th best in qualification. 12.25 was the score. It was a tentative start. That might help her to feel that she's eased into the routine now. Wow, that's so much better than the start. What a great transformation. This is really interesting to watch because the first 10-15 seconds have been replaced by a totally different atmosphere to the routine.